He was supposed to die on the battlefield. During the Civil War, John Wesley Powell lost his right arm at the Battle of Shiloh. 7 years later, with one arm and scientific curiosity, he climbed into a small wooden boat and pointed it toward the last great blank space on the American map. Ahead lay nearly 1,000 miles of violent river, towering canyon walls, and rapids no one knew could ever be survived. If he succeeded, he'd rewrite American history. If he failed, the Colorado River would simply keep his secret. This is the story of John Wesley Powell. John Wesley Powell was born in 1834 in upstate New York, the son of a preacher who kept moving his family from Ohio to Wisconsin, then Illinois, pursuing the next congregation to serve. His father wanted him in the ministry. Powell had another calling, however, to be outside, within nature. He taught himself geology. He collected shells and minerals across the Midwest with no formal training, no professor guiding him. It purely was out of deep curiosity. By 25, he was self-taught, largely without a college degree. He'd already been elected secretary of Illinois Natural History Society. Then in 1861, the Union went into war, and Powell enlisted into the Civil War. He rose fast, first as sergeant major, then lieutenant, then captain of artillery battery, because he spent the months before the war studying military engineering as a hobby. Powell's unit was thrown into Battle of Shiloh, one of the bloodiest single engagements the country had ever seen. In the chaos, Powell raised his right arm to signal his men to fire. A mini ball tore through his wrist. 2 days later, field surgeons amputated what was left of his arm, below the elbow. The nerve damage would cause him agonizing pain for the rest of his life. That pain followed him throughout his life. Here's the wild part. Powell didn't go home. He returned to battle, back into the sea of smoke and bullets. One arm he fought at Vicksburg, studying rock formations in the trenches between battles. He fought through the Atlanta campaign. He was promoted to major, a title that stuck to his name for the rest of his life, long after guns went quiet. The war took his arm, but not his drive and determination. After the war, Powell became a professor of geology in Illinois, safe indoors. It didn't last, however. By 1867 and 68, he was leading expeditions into the Colorado Rockies, dragging students and volunteers up unclimbed peaks, completing the first recorded ascent of Long's Peak. But Powell's eyes kept drifting towards something bigger, the blank space on every map of an American West. Somewhere down there, the Green and the Colorado rivers cut through canyons no American had ever mapped out officially at that time, and as far as anyone knew, ever survived it. With almost no government funding, Powell built 4 wooden boats, recruited 9 other men trappers, a Civil War chronicler, his own brother, packed 10 months of provisions, and pushed off from Green River, Wyoming. Within weeks, one boat was smashed into pieces in the rapids at Disaster Falls, taking 1/3 of their food and most of their scientific instruments down with it. One man quit at the first opportunity and walked out on foot. The rest kept going, down through canyon after canyon, rationing spoiled flour, running on less sleep and less food every mile. By August, 3 months in, they were all skin and bones, sunburned, staring down into the deepest, narrowest stretch of the canyon, and the men were starting to break. What lay ahead for the 3 men? It was like a death sentence. Oramel and his brother Seneca and William Dunn told Powell that they were done. They thought it was some sort of suicide mission. Rather than run the rapid, they climbed out of the canyon on foot and took their chances on the plateau above. Powell tried to talk them out of it. He couldn't. The party split up. 6 men stayed with the boats, and 3 walked away into the rim rock. Powell and the others pushed into the rapid that had terrified them all, and it worked. Within 2 days, on August 30th, 1869, the remaining boats emerged from the mouth of the canyon at Virgin River. They were battered, half-starved, but alive. They had done what no expedition before them had managed. They had run the length of the Grand Canyon and lived to tell about it. The 3 men who left did not survive. Within days of them climbing out, historical accounts indicate that they were killed. The exact circumstances are still debated by historians today, more than a century and a half later. They don't know whether it was the natives or a settlement group near Utah who mistook them for federal agents. Wesley Powell didn't stop at one expedition. He ran the river again in 1871, producing the first reliable maps of the Colorado River. He went on to become the 2nd director of the U.S. Geological Survey. He wrote a report largely ignored at the time, warning that the arid West couldn't be settled by the same rules as the wet East. Decades later, water engineers would admit that he was right all along. He died in 1902, 33 years after the river should have killed him, and he's buried at Arlington. He lost his arm in the Civil War. That injury that Powell suffered, he did not allow that to define him. What can we learn from John Wesley Powell's situation? Maybe that the setbacks that we face don't have to determine the direction of our future. Well, until next time, subscribe for more forgotten history.